Hi, everyone. I'm Gene Nichols. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Community Roundup from the K-News studios here at Alpha Media. My guest is the Executive Director of Jewish Family Service of the Desert, Maureen Foreman. Today we're talking all about mental health services that are offered through JFS. Maureen, welcome back to our microphones.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Great to have you on board. Boy, it's hard to imagine that the mental health issues in America could get any bigger, because now we're starting to realize that just because you may be fine physically doesn't mean that everything is fine in your world. And we've seen a lot of mental health services that have been dropped both locally and regionally. And JFS, of course, has been stepping up and seeing its demands for mental health services increase. Give us the lowdown on what you offer and how you can help.
We really are a full-service mental health counseling clinic. We have been in the desert for over 32 years. We have done counseling all of that time. Our counseling numbers and issues and people presenting for services has done nothing but go up every single year since we've been here. Part of what we realize is that as a nonprofit, we offer something a little different than, for instance, private practitioners or the county. Part of what we are able to do because of our generous funders is to help people receive low-cost mental health counseling based on their ability to pay. And we have many people who pay $5. We have some people who pay nothing because you have to get counseling when you have to get counseling, and you can't wait to be able to afford it.
You are a nonprofit entity that gets funded from a number of sources, and for the mental health services that are provided, there are several entities out here who have stepped up to put some funding in place. So
absolutely. Jewish Federation is always very, very supportive of all of our services, and they've funded us since the beginning. And we also get funding from Desert Healthcare District, from United Way of the Desert, Kaiser Permanente, and we have a really neat program that just started this year from the Fogelson Family Foundation at Jerry and Georgia Fogelson. We have a Peaceful Families grant that is allowing us to see families at risk for domestic violence for up to 6 free sessions. So they don't have to figure out how to get their insurance to pay for it or get into a crisis. They can just come. And part of what that's about is teaching the skills to avoid the crisis and to mitigate or at least improve in whatever way we can the potential domestic violence situation. So that's one of our newest grants. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that grants help us with about half of our revenue, but the other half is insurance. We take basically every major insurance. We take county insurance, we take IEHP, Molina, MHN, Medicare. We see a lot of Medicare older clients. So we kind of are the best of both worlds in that we're a nonprofit, but we're also full service.
who are some of the people who might access JFS seeking some type of mental health services? Could it be anybody?
Oh, it can be absolutely anybody. JFS is non-denominational. We serve the entire valley. We work with adults. We work with seniors, a lot of seniors with depression. We work with couples. We work with children and families. We help children in foster care adjust. We have a group for women who are in domestic violence situations. And again, that's a free group. Anyone who would go for mental health counseling can come here.
Give us a phone number where they can access any of the people there who can help them set an appointment, or even the website, I'm sure, has some information about your offerings as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our phone number is 760-325-4088, and our website is www.jfsdesert.org.
The Awacalante Band of Cahuilla Indians actually has stepped up with some funding for your services as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The last couple of years, they have been wonderful with us helping see children. Mm-hmm.
Last year, JFS was doing upwards of 6,000 mental health counseling sessions. Is there any kind of waiting list, Maureen?
It completely depends on the day. Right now, because of summer, Actually, not so much, but we are good this week. Now, next week, that could change. In the season, it gets a little busier. And when the kids go back to school and start experiencing difficulties in the school, a lot of times they'll get referrals to come in. And we also see about 500 children in 9 schools in Palm Springs Unified for counseling. We go on site.
Something else we should mention, number one, you have counselors who do speak other languages, so bilingual or people who don't speak English as their first language can get help.
Absolutely.
And another thing that you also do is if folks can't get to you, JFS will go out and get to them.
We can get to them in 2 ways. We get to the kids in the school district through our partnership with Palm Springs Unified. And for seniors, what a lot of seniors don't realize is that there's a Medicare benefit that allows them to receive counseling in their home. So we can go see seniors in their home. And then what we also do is we do a lot of outreach, socialization programs, and we send our clinicians to give talks about depression, and we can even administer depression scales at our Let's Do Lunch program. So there's lots of ways we can get out there to meet people.
A lot of times we look or hear about mental health issues and we think, well, depression, snap out of it. You know what? If you're really suffering from that type of problem, you don't just snap out of it.
No, you don't. You don't. And it's very closely tied to economic difficulty and poverty. And, a lot of seniors are living on fixed incomes down here, and they, one thing goes wrong and they feel as though they've done something wrong when in fact they did everything exactly right. They just can't afford this broken air conditioner or this broken car or whatever. And we also have programs to help seniors with that in financial emergency. So we really try to be a huge full-service agency that's available to help the whole valley.
And Maureen, how many staff members do you have that are dedicated to the mental health services that you offer there? And are they all paid or are they volunteers, some of them?
We don't have volunteer counselors. Our counselors are all mostly licensed counselors. We have 2 interns. We have an internship program that we do through both Brandman and through Cal State San Bernardino, where we train the therapists of tomorrow, and we supervise them towards their license. And we have 12 therapists. Some are full-time, and some are what are known as contract therapists. They just come here on a schedule that works for them.
So if people have insurance, they can give a call. You will accept their insurance as payment. Medicare is accepted as well. And for folks who are struggling financially and maybe can't afford the cost of their session, thanks to the great people at places like the Annenberg Foundation, the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians, Desert Healthcare District, Fogelson Foundation, Jewish Federation of the Desert, Kaiser Permanente, and United Way of the Desert, some of that cost can be defrayed. So there's no excuse for not getting help if people need it.
No, there really isn't. We all have a rough time getting through life at one point or another, and coming for counseling is just saying, I'd really like someone to kind of walk alongside me for a while and help me figure this out. It's not a stigma. It's not an illness in the sense to be embarrassed about. In the old days, people used to avoid the idea of having a mental health problem. Life is so complicated. In some ways, we all have mental health problems, and we all need help. So to really just come right in.
Maureen Foreman's been my guest, Executive Director of Jewish Family Service of the Desert. Again, to reach them for any type of mental health services and more, you can give a call to 760-325-4088. And, of course, on the web these days, and who isn't, they're at www.jfsdesert.org. Maureen, thanks for doing the life-saving work that you do over there at Jewish Family Service of the Desert. And if people need a ride or they can't come in, you can go to them. And pretty much you've covered all the bases that folks who need mental health services should need to know about and what you offer there for the entire Coachella Valley.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really our honor and pleasure to do it.
Well, we appreciate your joining us here on Community Roundup, and we'll talk again soon. And any other needs that you have, our venue is certainly open to you as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Gene.
You're quite welcome. Maureen Foreman, Executive Director of Jewish Family Service of the Desert. I'm Gene Nichols. This is Community Roundup.